This episode of the Conversation Podcast is brought to you by Uniweb.com, your one-stop solution for cutting-edge software development and AI-driven technology. Alina began her career as a model, gaining national recognition as a finalist in the Miss Russia competition. That success led her to launch a massive digital media presence. Today she boasts 5 million TikTok followers, over 2 million YouTube subscribers, and 1.5 million on Instagram. Before stepping into entertainment, Alina earned a law degree with honors from one of Russia's top universities and worked as a lawyer. In 2022, she moved to Los Angeles to pursue her passion in film. Over the past 2.5 years, she landed supporting roles in feature films and starred in music videos, and continues to expand her career as a screenwriter, an actor, and aspiring director. She balances her work as a model and influencer while building her path in Hollywood, driven by her true passion, cinema. Let's jump right into it. Alina Charova, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good. Good to be here.
I am so glad that you wanted to come on the podcast. You know, you have such a great presence on social media. You're an actress, you're an attorney, and there's so much more that I would love to find out about you. So if you don't mind, please go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll just jump in and go organically.
First of all, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. This is my actually first podcast in US since I moved here. So yeah, so yay, this is
Yay!
here. And and I decided actually say yes to your podcast because I really love this concept when you have like this amazing people with such a cool, great stories, and being part of this podcast is just an honor for me. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Uh,
Thank you.
it's not something like typical interview, like pop star celebrity interview. No, it's like something about deeper conversation, and I'm so happy being here. Originally, as you can hear from my accent, I'm not from US, of course. I was born in Russia. Actually, it's so interesting because I was born in such a small town, like literally mountain town. So it's amazing. It's a beautiful place. It's the city called Vladikavkaz. So yeah, I'm from a very small city, and for me, like changing my locations, like moving, it's just like something that I get used to. So for me, as an immigrant here, moving to another country, it could be challenging, but like I did step by step, like from small town to the bigger town. After it was a point of my life when I thought like maybe I have to move to the capital, like Moscow, like St. Petersburg. But I decided like, why have to go only in Moscow if I can move to the city where I want to be, when I want to achieve my not only goals but my dreams? Because as you know, I'm an influencer, model, content creator, but my passion all my life it was movies. Like my first memories, it's about me watching movies. Like it's just crazy. It was something in my life all my life. I never ever told someone in my family about my passion. They know like, oh,
Oh, wow.
she spent a lot of time watching movies, TV series, like all this stuff. And for them, it was like not okay in this concept. For example, my sister, she spent a lot of time outside, like playing with the kids. And for me, it was very important being in this like movie world. Like, I don't know.
Wow.
And because I was raised as a smart girl, first of all, you have to understand I'm from the family where it was very important to be smart, to get really nice education. For my family, it was very important for me, maybe being a doctor, because my
Wow.
stepmom, she's a dentist, and they thought like, okay, you have like really nice grades in school, so maybe you're gonna be a doctor. And they said like, no, I don't want to be a doctor. Like, but I can tell like, oh, I want to be, I don't know, writer, actress, producer. For them, it was just
Wow.
like something, no, no way. So that's why I never, ever said this, anything in my family about my passion. And I decided, okay, I'm kind of smart, so I can be a lawyer. And I love to talk with the people. And I watched a lot of TV series about like lawyers, attorneys, and it's like, wow, this is so cool. I thought before I got my degree as a lawyer. And
Wow.
I was working as a lawyer maybe for half, like 6 months or something. And I literally remember this feeling when I was in the office. I'm a lawyer, Finally, I got my degree. 5 years later, after university, I'm just like, oh my God, I just don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I'm just like, no way I'm going to do this. I have to figure out how to go out from this because it's not so glamorous as it's shown on TV movies, like, oh my God, when it's like attorney, someone cool. It's not how it works in the real life. I don't know how it's in America, but in Russia, it's not like this. It's like, I don't want to say it's boring, but it's not something that I was born for. I'm actually very, very excited. I'm so blessed that I have this degree. So it makes my life much more easy right now. As a lawyer, like you can check your documents. Sometimes people, like want to fool you and you just, I'm going to check it with my lawyer. So yeah, when I got my degree, my family, they were very excited. And I decided, it was something for society and something for my family. Now it's the time to make something for myself, what I really want to do. Because I was like pretty young back then, like after I graduated, and I still like have a lot of time. Now I realize we all have a lot of time in general. It's not about your age. But back then, oh my God, I have to figure out. But I got an invitation for beauty pageant Miss Russia out of blue. Literally when I was like rotten in my office, struggling, and I just got this invitation. First of all, how it's possible? I'm not like, I did some model job back then and I got this invitation like in Instagram. They just text me in Instagram. Yeah. And they said like, pageant is just like 3 weeks from this date and we don't have a lot of time. Maybe you have a time to come for final casting, which is like before all girls, like for 1 year they spend first casting, second casting, and only after they would have an opportunity to have a final casting. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna go. And it was hard to announce it to my family because like for them it was like, you want to go where? Like for them, I don't know, am I allowed to say this word? But for them, it was like some kind of prostitution, like back then, because a lot of stereotype. Yeah, it's really like I'm from, like Russia is very conservative country. And especially when you are not from the capital. And my family, because of like heritage of my family, we are very conservative, like not super, but still like all these values. And for them, it was like all models, prostitutes, actresses, prostitutes. And I wasn't expect from them like to support me because I decided it doesn't matter. I don't feel that I need that support. It would be great, but it's about my life. Yes, why not? Like I'm going to regret for the rest of my life. Like, let's see. So I came to this casting and they love me. And they say like, we want you to represent your state, like region in Russia, and be part of this beauty pageant. Be only one of 50 girls this year. Because usually it's like they have 50,000 applications every year or even more,
Wow.
like all girls around Russia. Okay, maybe this the point of my life when something gonna change. I'm not gonna be maybe a lawyer. Like back then, I wasn't saying this to my family. Oh, I don't want to be a lawyer. I just like, okay, I'm gonna get little break just to try something new. For them, like I told you, like the first reaction was like, oh my God, you're gonna be on bikini on the stage. Like, I mean, it's not the biggest part of the show, of course, but in general for them it was an issue. Oh my God, you're going to be there in panties and all people's going to see you. And it's just like, yeah, this point when I have to disappoint my family, I can do whatever I want. And I wouldn't say I almost won, no, but I was so freaking close because I was in final top 10. It was interesting because like some people even from my city, they thought like I'm someone's girlfriend because it's a lot of stereotypes about like beauty pageant. I got a lot of stereotypes before. I thought like, oh, all girls is like someone bought the crown for them, but it's not true. Like with Miss Russia, I don't know about other pageants. A lot of rumors. Oh, maybe she's like, like dating some guy, but I was in a relationship back then, like with my current husband. Yeah, we were together for 12 years and he was the only person that really supported me back then. So he said like, no matter what, just go and achieve your dreams, because he was the only person. I said him about like my passion, like I want to be in movie industry. And I thought like this is like the first step, how I can go from my small town.
Wow. You said, where did you rank number 12, number one? What did you rank?
No, we don't have a ranks like in this type of pageant. Is you have like winner, you have first vice miss, whatever. The second, it's like 50 girls. After it's like 20 girls every round, and after it's like 10. I was 12 my year, and after it's only winners. So it's just like I'm just like from 50,000, 50, 20, top 12, and yeah, only
So
winners.
you were top 12 in your country.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, and I wasn't prepared. Like I haven't had any experience in beauty pageant because a lot of girls like I feel like I'm not on the right place because like almost all girls they had this experience before, like Miss of their region, Miss Little Sunshine, whatever. And for me, it was like first experience. And this experience, like the biggest in my country, it was just like, wow, no way I'm gonna go back to my normal life. I want to have something extra, and it's not about like money, glamorous lifestyle, because you know, like definitely when you have this experience as in being part of beauty pageants, like a lot of guys with the money around you. But for me, it wasn't even an issue because like I was happy with my husband. No, it's not for me, but I want to achieve something because I proved to myself that I can do something extra out of being smart because I was raised only as a smart girl with a lot of responsibilities for my family in the future. You have to be a smart girl. And never it was even issue in our family to talk about how you can be like beautiful. Like, because being beautiful, to be worried about being beautiful is something like shallow, like, wow. And can you imagine one day I decide, oh, hi guys, I want to go to the Miss Russia. And I think it's something changed in my parents' mind too. I wouldn't say my family was upset, but at some point, like for example, my stepmom, for her it was a drama. She thought like I'm gonna be a lawyer for the rest of my life. But now, no, like spoiler, everyone is so excited. All contracts that I have right now.
How many brothers and sisters are?
Oh, I have one, my little sister. I mean, she's not little. She's just younger for a year and a half. But for me, she is a, like little forever. She
Sure.
lives in Moscow right now. She's a hairstylist. She loves to do stuff with her hair. And for my family, it was an issue too. That they just like, why you always worry about your hair? Why are you talking about your hair? And now she's a hairstylist.
First and foremost, it's pretty smart of you, in my opinion, that you went to law school and you became a lawyer. There's a lot of adults that come to Hollywood. They had not the best childhood, right? There's things lacking in a sense, and they come here for the wrong reasons. And I think that's a real bad combination of things. But when you go to school and you did what you did, that's pretty impressive. What business was your father in?
He works as an entrepreneur back then.
Entrepreneur. So the apple doesn't fall too far off the tree. So basically, he took chances. You saw him taking chances.
Yeah, he's my inspiration. I really look like him. Like literally, we're so similar in character and how we look like tall. Yeah, you can tell like the same faces.
Unbelievable. So after you were in Russia, when you became top 12 in Russia, uh, what happened then?
After Miss Russia, I decided, like, I told you, I wasn't like 16 years old. Like, I was 22 or something last year when I could participate in this Miss Russia pageant because they have age limit still in Russia
Yeah.
thing. And I decided I have like a little short period of time when I have some attention and I have to use this time. So I started my YouTube channel. I was wondering what it's supposed to be like the first video. And I decided to make the video about like my Miss Russia experience because I lose a lot of weight for this beauty pageant. I was just normal size. I never was very big or something. Like I'm tall. Yeah, so that's why for me it's easy. But for a beauty pageant, you have to be in certain standards, and especially in Russia. I'm not talking about America. I'm not talking about like Europe. But for Russia, it's like very strict standards. And if you want to be on scene, you have to be slim. During this competition, 3 weeks, I was on a kind of very strict diet. So I decided to tell the world, like, this is not okay, but it was my path. I decided to do this, and it's not healthy right now. No way I'm gonna do this again. But I was clear in this video. It's not healthy. But if you want to know what I did, it was this. I want to be honest. I uploaded this video, and I just forget about this video. 1 week or maybe 2 weeks later, I just checked and I saw a lot of notifications. So maybe somehow this video became viral. And okay, where is next? I'm always like, where is next? Where is next? And the next step, I decided, okay, now they want to ask me about my hair, about my makeup, about like my style, about all this stuff. So I decided to make this space like old cute YouTube place for girls safe space. So I started to make channel only for the girls so they can feel like we are friends. Next it was Instagram, and years later after it became my career, I can pay my bills with all this stuff. YouTube, it was like another shock for my family. Oh my god, now you who? Because this career wasn't exist when I was a teenager. Like literally I was wondering, maybe one day I could be, maybe not in movie industry, but I could be a news anchor or like TV host or something. But I was not in Moscow. How it's possible? Now it's possible with all this YouTube. It's possible. I had this conversation with my grandma, and I'm trying to explain her what I do. She asked me, but who you are? I'm a blogger. She's just like, I don't get it. Grandma, I'm like on TV, but in the internet. Okay, you are like a TV host, as you always dream. Like, I was just like, yeah, I'm a kind of TV host. This is how you explain the older generation what I was doing back then. After 5 years, it was my career. It was pretty solid career with
in Russia.
In Europe, ex-Soviet Union countries. It was in Russian language, but for example, my Instagram, because it's like visual, it's not about how you back then, before Reels era. It was just for people around the world. Getting is like a business. It's okay, it's a creativity, but it's something that could bring me more money. Like, this is a business. I have to take it serious. Like, especially I have this education. I know how it works. It's a business. And next step, it was a TikTok after COVID, 1 year after pandemic. I just started, okay, let's do some TikTok stuff. Let's try different things. And this literally changed my life, because one day I became like super viral. Like, now I have 5 million followers in TikTok. Wow. And I have 70 million views on random videos, like 50 million, 60, 70, 20.
Wow.
Like, oh my God. Now almost every person in Russia, not in Russia, in ex-Soviet Union countries, like around the world, like people who speak Russian, a lot of people speak Russian, and they know my face. And I'm just like, oh wow. It was like another point when I changed my path, and I earned enough money to move. Like, actually, I started to save my money before, like from my YouTube career. And my first trip to America was to LA right before pandemic, 1 week before pandemic. You know, I felt so bad. It was like not the best time in my life. I want to go to LA. So I bought a ticket. I got my visa. It was very hard to get visa. First of all, if you're from Russia, I just want to go to LA. I came here. I don't want to say it was like a love from the first sight. No, it was just like, okay, I love the ocean. I love the industry. I know it's movie industry is here, but I came back to Russia. We have to move there. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be LA, Miami, New York. Let's see. But let's start to work on our documents. And my husband, he's very supportive. He said, like, yeah, if you want to chase your dream, let's do it together. And we started working on our documents. So it was like for years to get a document. It's so hard, especially talent visa, green card. It's a long way. And after I visited Miami, because everybody knows like COVID doesn't exist in Florida. Why not? Pandemic. I traveled to Miami. After it was New York 2 times. And after we moved to Miami, and after we moved to LA, because I always knew the industry, it's still how I feel. It's only in LA. Like, on this, it's, of course, it's everywhere. You can have an amazing career on East Coast. I don't know, maybe I was raised by all this Hollywood stuff. I don't know. So I decided we have to move to LA. And I really, right now, I love this city so much. I can't even imagine.
Really?
It's a lot of things going on here. It's not,
Yeah.
sometimes like not the best city in the world, but I always thought like city is not your goal, but it's your tool. So
Yeah.
I decided LA is going to be my tool. And after 2.5 years here, oh my God, I love this tool. It's not a goal still, it's just a tool, but it's nice, beautiful, good weather tool.
I love the journey that you've had so far to where you're at today. There's a certain self-confidence that comes with your dream, right? You have to have that self-confidence.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's a pragmatic, practical approach that you bring to what you do, which is very smart. One of the questions I have for you, what movie really had an effect on you when you decided you wanted to be in show business?
It wasn't one particular movie, but before, when I was a kid, teenager, I just like, oh, I love movies. Like, I never thought like it's possible to be somewhere there. It was Pulp Fiction. So I started to learn more about Quentin Tarantino's career, about like his path, like how he used to work in like, this movie rental. And I thought like, okay, this guy, he used to live in LA, but he was just like normal guy, not from movie industry. And now he does such an amazing thing. So maybe it's possible. So Pulp Fiction, it was like the first movie when I decided, okay, it's possible to make something great, even if you are not like from Coppola's family. First of all, movie industry, it's a business. It's an industry. It's a show business. And when we have like influential families, it's okay. In every business, you have influential families. It's absolutely normal. Now everyone talking about like Nepo babies. Like, yeah, it's maybe some issues with this, but it's normal to have influential families. And I thought like whole business here is like, it was my stereotype back then. Like it's only some families or something. But when I started to learn about Quentin Tarantino and after like other directors, writers, I'm just like, oh my God, it's possible. So I have this chance, like mind changing point.
It's interesting you say this because there are a lot of families in the show business that are behind the scenes that you never hear or see. And they're running big businesses and some of them big empires, but they're just not in front of the camera. So there's a lot of that. But also, I've noticed from my experience, there's people that are Nepo babies, but they don't have a career in the business because at the end of the day, you do have to have something to offer as a talent, as some kind of contribution to what it is you're doing. I think that's really important.
Yeah,
Having connections can get you into the door, but it doesn't mean you're going to stay there.
true. Yeah, exactly.
So someone like yourself who's come really from a different part of the world and has accomplished as much as you have accomplished, you have an upper hand because when the push comes to shove at the end of the day, I'll give you an example. I've been doing this for 20 years or so, made some big movies, and I want to hear about Bus 657 in Russia because I know it was a big deal in Russia. Russia, that movie was really well received from what I understand.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy, but that was a theatrical in Russia actually. But anyway, so it took a long time to get that movie made and whatnot, and I realized that there is a understanding of, and it took me a long time. Now, mind you, I made movies, I've directed, I've acted, I was an extra, on and on and on. It just went on. Dealt with a lot of big stars in the game. It comes down to humanity, and this is what this channel is about: humanity. And I think there's a lot of flash in the pans and bright lights and whatnot that wants you to take away your perception of what you're doing. And I think it's almost as if you're an athlete and you have to stay to the game. You have to know where the ball is going. You have to know exactly how to follow it. And I think for you seem to be very focused on what it is that you're doing. I'd like to understand a little bit more about that focus, and then I have a couple of more questions for you.
I came to Hollywood, I'm always saying, not like I'm 18 years old, like, oh, Hollywood, this is so beautiful. This is things that I thought a movie. No. I came to the Hollywood when I was already with a career, like some achievement in my life. I was sure who I am, like already, like I know who I am. I know what I can offer to this world, and not just like I'm trying to find myself. I'm always have this kind of dialogue with not only childhood version of myself. I have the little Alina like back then, and I'm always asking, oh, how do you like it where we are right now? Oh, can you imagine we know this person right now? Can you imagine you saw like Paris Hilton on your small little TV in Russia, and now you on the party with her? Like, oh my God, what do you what do you think about this? And she's like, oh my God, like this is so great. But I also have this potential older version of myself, 85 plus version of myself, like what she's gonna say me in this moment, like how she sees like this situation right now. Is it like worth my emotions right now or not? Like maybe I have to put more energy in this project, whatever. I'm always have this dialogue with both of them. Sounds schizophrenic or something, but I think it's very important because in the end of the day, we are products of our childhood. And in the end of the day, if we're going to be blessed enough, we'll be older people, and we always not like live in the moment right now, but I always wondering what this version of me gonna say. And that's actually keep me more focused. I just like always like doing this check with this version of myself, and it's really helps me to be more focused, because I remember I'm not will be young for the rest of my life. I still have to think about like older version, but I also have the dreams that little version, like childhood version of myself had. And in the end of the day, when you look at the kids, I really love to spend time with kids and with elder people, because it's like they are so similar in some ways, and they are like so pure, and they know what they want. Because if you ask kids, 100% they know what they want to do. Like, I want to be like actress, I want to be cosmonaut, I want to be like whatever. Like they know for 100%. They have like this, like they just, I'm so sure. And when you ask elder people, you always want to ask them about their regrets. My grandma, like her friends, like always when I met like elder people, I ask them about what they think their achievements and what they regrets. And I'm always like do this reality check with my like current version of myself, because like it's not only about my wisdom, it's about like wisdom of people who used to live before me. This really helps me to be more focused on what I'm doing right now, and not waste my time.
That is such an insightful perspective. So I've watched a couple of your channels on different platforms. It is so insightful of who you are as a person that obviously I never picked up on that watching any of the stuff that you had on there, which is amazing that you have the ability to be able to look at this young kid and then the older person and do that. That's a gift. I don't know if you know that or not.
I feel any privileges that I have, like really, and I appreciate them. Like I'm not the person, oh, this is not. Sometimes like even being raised with my amazing grandma, it's a privilege because I had this grandma.
One of the reasons I started this channel is one, I thought there was a need for it. Two, there was a lack of community after the strike. I thought the strike wasn't successful for the performers and artists out there, from writers to actors to whatever you want to call it. Now, as you know, I have a movie coming out. You're part of that movie.
Yeah.
It's doing really well. It's winning festivals. It's doing really great. There's an internal dialogue that's happening for myself, and when I talk to people like yourself, I get this connection and this different perspective of humanity. I think this is what's great about this conversation, is the humanity part that most people miss, right? The attention spans on social media has become very small. Quick, go, flash. And there's no connection. And after a while, and I have to say, like I've been very fortunate that I have a lot of guests on this show, and I have a dozen guests coming. What happens is you start becoming numb to social media. In the long run, social media is not good for your mental health if you 150% into it.
Yeah.
If you can't look at somebody's person and say, hey, how are you? Good to see you. And really understand what they're talking about, this is what's making this communication that I have with my guests is making that happen, because people are sharing personal insights of who they are. And I think that that's such a powerful thing. How do you use this skill set? Because you clearly have a skill set. And I want to talk about film in a couple of more questions.
Sure.
But how do you use your skill set, because you do have the skill set, in your social media platforms?
That's what I'm saying about like privileges. You always have to understand like what you can offer to this world, like, and all these things that you can offer to this world. It's your privilege. It's a privilege. It's like a gift that God gave to you, just to, like, to share with other people. Because
Yeah.
I'm just sure it's a criminal not to share your talent with the world, and you're gonna be punished. I don't know, like, I don't want to sound like very
Hmm.
tough person, but you have to share your talent. If you have a gift, you have to
Hmm.
share it. Like, I told you, I was raised as a smart girl, and at one point of my life, I saw, okay, I'm a beautiful too. Okay, it's a gift. Like, it's maybe a combination of my parents' genes, but at the same time, it's some kind of gift, and for because it's my privilege. And some people like, oh my God, it's so nice just to look at your pictures or to your videos. Like, I'm very good speaker in Russian. Like, it's still tough for me to speak in English because it's just like not my original language.
Not really. I think you're pretty good. I think you're
So
pretty good.
how much I invested a lot of time to
Yeah.
like to my English skills, but at the same time, but in Russian, I'm even more smart than Russian. Like, it's always with the
I
immigrants,
understand.
like, oh, it's so hard to express what I want to say. And okay, what I have this face. It's like a tool, like my privilege, but it's my tool. I have good speaker skills. I'm smart, so I can tell something in a fun way, but maybe something really useful for people. So I can share. And I just like, this is like combination of things that you already have, like your gifts, your privileges, and you just put it in one product. And I decided, okay, I want to do something for girls, entertainment way, but at the same time, it could be something useful for them. So it's like fashion, beauty, funny stuff. So this is about like packaging. So you can put in very deep and cool stuff in something fun if you have the skill. Because this, of course, we live like in the world of packaging. It's very important. You can be the most talented person in the world, but just like do stuff in your garage just because you don't know how to make this packaging. And this is very important. It's sad. But back then, it was the producers. Now we have this opportunity to be producers for ourselves. And I decided, okay, I want to be a producer to myself. And this is about packaging, because producer, they're not sing, they don't dance, they just do packaging. And now I have to figure out how to make this packaging. And for me, it was a point of my life when I was like kind of upset when people, oh, you this girl who's like doing Get Ready With Me in pink color and the red color. And it was just like, this is not how I want to be famous, like on one point. But after I figure out like, whoa, why I'm trying to devalue things that people likes. I have like thousands of comments how they spending like so much fun just watching my videos. For them, for some kids, because I'm doing this stuff for years, they say like, oh, thank you so much for my childhood. Oh, well, let's talk about, I'm not so old, but yeah, like, thank you for the childhood. So, and I decided, okay, I don't have to devalue things that people likes. So if this platform gives me opportunity to be connected with like millions of people, I have to use this package, because I can just do videos, being in like, I don't know, like without makeup, without hair or something, just trying to spread my wisdom, but it's not hard. Just about the packaging. It's important. Like, I love cool packaging. It's
Yeah.
could be made. It could be in the movies. It could be in the content. It doesn't matter. Packaging.
Mm.
It's important, and this is business. You have to understand. Like, if you want to be connected with the people, in the end of the day, it's a business. It doesn't mean like you have to be like superficial or like shallow themes. But packaging is very important. I realized when I started to social media, it's not maybe how I expected I'm going to be famous, but our lives works like unexpected ways. So
Yeah, it does.
yeah, I thought I'm going to be like famous this way maybe, but no.
You cannot predict it, but you can write your own book, and this is exactly It's funny. You talk about this channel is called the Immigrant Storyteller. So I'll tell you a little story about packaging, which is very apropos to what you're talking about. In film business, you have to package, and I've talked to directors and actors, and they all talk about. They said, "Let me ask you a question." I asked the director. I said, "If you have a really good screenplay, and this screenplay versus that screenplay, and then you have this actor attached to that, and no actor is attached to that. Which project would you do?" And he goes, "Well, I think unfortunately I'm going to look at the product, which is the packaging. I'm going to do it with the one that the actor wants to do because that's where the packaging is in place." There's a screenplay I wrote. It was called the Storyteller, and it was based on my life as an artist in Los Angeles. And I got Dustin Hoffman attached. I got Sam Worthington attached. I got Madeline Stowe attached, and I got a production company to back it. And the production company couldn't come up with the money, so I lost all my packaging. It was very disappointing. And this is exactly what you do for what you do because you're packaging things that you control. But when you go into a bigger picture, 3 million, 4 million, $5 million movies, it's a little harder because one, you need to know what you're doing. That's number one. I can get into an hour conversation of what not to do in Hollywood, but that's a different video. And the other thing is knowing the direction and the people that you sync yourself up with, and I'm sure you do as well. And what you do is to bring that package and make the best out of it. I'll give you an example. When I did Bus 657, it's usually called Bus 757 with Robert De Niro. It was supposed to be in Las Vegas, and it was a very smart cat and mouse kind of a movie, kind of like The Usual Suspects. But that screenplay attracted Robert De Niro, but the producers at the time wanted to shoot it in Georgia. Well, there's no casinos in Georgia, so they turned a casino into a riverboat that's a casino. Okay, it's not the same, but okay. But it's Robert De Niro, so you got Robert De Niro, and then you got Dave Bautista, you got Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And it's like, well, that's the packaging now. So let's go with it. So that's kind of how packaging comes together. But the fact that you have such an insight of that is pretty amazing to me. In regards to film, and I know you love film, and are you studying anywhere? What are you doing in the film world?
When I moved here, I started studying before as an actress because like Stanislavski met Chekhov's Russian thing, so I started in Russia. But after I moved here, I started my acting classes. So I tried different ones. So I choose two of them. Yeah, for 2.5 years, I'm in this acting coaching stuff. In the end of the day, I don't want to be only an actress. I want to be a producer, director, writer. And I decided, okay, if you want to have a restaurant, you have to start as a waitress. So, okay, let's start as a waitress. So I started doing a background actor extra works. I got actually one lead role in a music video with cool, amazing musicians here in LA. But it's just for experience to how it works actually, just to take a look. Okay, as an actress, I want to be a writer. So let's learn about writing. So I started to learn to have this courses for writers. And now I have script. I have one finished script. With the movie industry, I realized if you want to be universal, speak about your personal stuff. Okay, let's write a script about not my career, but something what I saw during my career as a model, because I have this part of my life when I used to work as a model too. And let's pack this into the comedy, because I really miss cool and fun comedies and in 2000s, this vibe of 2000s comedy. So, okay, I want to see the comedy, what I want to see personal. And I can add a little my experience, the people that I met during my life. It's really fun, and it was so easy for me to write the script, and I really like it. Even I finished it 6 months ago or even more.
Obviously, in Los Angeles, there's a lot of artists that come and they have screenplays, but there's also this machinery that you have to, the one thing you understand is packaging, right? So it's one thing to have a really good screenplay. And I've been places where my screenplays are oh, this is really good. Okay, well, do you want to make it? Well, yeah, we want to make this other one, and then we'll come back to you in 2 years. I'm like, I don't want to wait 2 years. So there's that whole thing. ChatGPT AI is good. It cannot replace a human being. No way, no how.
No way, no. I heard this point of view. A lot of people, they worry about AI, they're going to replace us. And I don't remember exactly who said that, but AI could replace only people who scared to make mistakes. And I'm just like, whoa, that's absolutely makes sense. Like if you're a
Yeah.
person and especially in creativity in art, AI is a very safe tool. It's not about
Mhm.
like creativity, but they can make some routine easier for you. That's it.
Absolutely. So it sounds like, based on what you're saying, is sounds like the journey that you've lived so far is that you've taken control of your own destiny and you came here and you started dabbling in the film industry and you started realizing that you wanted to direct, you wanted to write, you wanted to produce, you wanted to put the package together because of the machinery that you already are. You are already that machine. You're just replacing the product with something else and putting that product into your machinery, which is
Yeah.
really, really smart and insightful to do that. So kudos to you. So you wrote a script, you're in acting classes. What are you projecting to the universe for yourself in the next 2 to 5 years?
Actually, I realize I'm not a good projector in all like my future stuff. Like, because if you would ask me 5 years ago about like my current life, I'm not sure I'm gonna say like, oh my god, this is gonna be true. Like, it's just like step by step. Like, I'm just like open one door and next and next and next. Like, I don't know like five doors ahead. I know only one door. So okay, what I can do next? Like now I have a script. Okay, I have acting skills, so maybe I can like play in this movie and I want to direct it. So when I moved here, I realized that it's not like super big industry. Of course, it's like very hard to get into this industry, but it's also not about who you are. It's about community too. Previous life, it was everything. It was just about myself. And the case like, oh, I want something, I have to achieve it by myself. Only it's up to me. And when I move here, oh, girl, it's not about who you are. It's not about how talented you are. It's not only about how talented you are and how good as a person you are. It's also about to build a community. And I'm just like,
Mm.
oh wow, it's not only the whole power in my hand anymore. Like because the previous life it was only about how like good I'm in certain ways. But in general, it's about to build a community. Now it's a new challenge in my life. It's about how I can be part of this. I'm a part of this industry.
I was standing on the movie set with Robert De Niro and Morris Chestnut, and we were in the casino that I told you about. I took a photo next to this craps table. I'm like, 7 years. I did it. It happened. And De Niro was doing his thing. And I was talking. I became friends with Morris Chestnut. I said to him, I said, so like, what is it like the hustle? Like, because Morris Chestnut has done a lot of TV shows. He just got a new TV show. He looked at De Niro across the room and he said, the hustle never stops. The only guy who's not hustling is that guy. That's the hustle.
That's the hustle, yeah.
That's a hustle. So, there are some things that you just have to move forward. You're very insightful. I think I understand your path, and just like you became an attorney, just like you became a supermodel in Russia, Miss Russia, and just like you are now here doing massive social media presence. I think the same formula works, except the difference is in Hollywood, it's not so super clear as your other paths.
100%. I feel it. Yeah.
The storyteller, the script turned into a novel, a book that I wrote. I went from 20,000 words to 75,000 words.
Wow.
And I expanded the novel into the story into a novel that really was in depth. And it's just a story about my personal life, about the love relationship between the son and a father, immigrant father, and how they travel across the country. And there's a lot of wonderful, heartfelt things in this. But what I realized is that you're giving power away to the system. The system in Hollywood, there is no such place called Hollywood. People are making movies here and there, TV shows here and there. They work with the studio system, Warner Brothers, Universal, now Apple, Netflix. Those are entities that control certain projects. Now, I've met people who worked for one of these institutions, I won't say who, that was a younger producer who had no clue about how to produce. But yet he was hired by this company, very well-known company, to produce these shows. He didn't know who I was, so he just talked like he was talking. I was listening. And I was thinking to myself, going, how could this company hire this guy as a producer? He doesn't know shit about the business. Well, I tell you why. Because it's a hierarchy. They want somebody to do what they want to do. The less questions you ask, the better it is. So from a perspective of an artist, you come in, you're dealing with a guy like that, or you're dealing with somebody who's very seasoned, and nobody wants to do extra work. When you go and you do a film, you have 20 executive producers. What are they doing in the movie? I don't know. They're just there because they made a phone call, they know somebody's friend, or something happened on how they do what they do. So the platforms have changed, and the industry has changed after the strike is completely shifted. A lot of people in Los Angeles and different parts of America and in Canada, I have friends that are producing shows in Canada that are very slow, but you have to be innovative and how to move forward and do what you got to do, and most importantly, get your creativity out. So back to what you're doing here. I think what you have is something fantastic. I got to know you really quite well, surprisingly, more than I obviously did because we had a brief time on the set
Yeah.
with each other. And that was it. What is your perspective? Have you seen Wages of Sin yet?
No, actually, no. I need to watch it.
So we've been accepted into the Hollywood Real Film Festival. It's a pretty decent sized good film festival.
Yeah, I saw it. You posted
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's
So
real.
that's gonna be a screening. It's gonna be a red carpet. I'm definitely inviting you to come to that if you'd like. Bring your
Sure.
husband. In Russia, your fan base in Russia, right?
Russian speaking country.
Uh,
Actually,
Russian speak.
yeah, I have one thing. It's so interesting about like my acting career in Russia. It's very interesting because when I moved here to LA, for some reason, I don't know why, I started to get a lot of invitation in movies in Russia. Like randomly, I wasn't an actress there. I mean, I did some projects as model, as an influencer. I was on the set in Moscow and St. Petersburg, and I was just like, wait a minute, why? While I was there, no one called me, no one texted me. But when I moved here, I really got like super like number one TV series, one of the biggest in Russia, an invitation to be a lead there. So they really wanted me, like the
Wow.
director, producer. They really wanted me, like we want you in this TV series so bad. Can you just move back to Moscow? And it was very not hard, but it was the moment of my life when I was like in the middle of the road. Like I have to accept this invitation and go back to Moscow to spend, like TV series was like 1, 2 seasons, maybe more. I have to go back for 1 year, maybe it's going to be 2 years, and forget about my dreams to be in LA to achieve
Wow.
something here in US. It was like decent amount of money. I could wake up very famous person one day, like super famous in all Russian speaking countries, even more, not as an influencer, but as an actress because of this TV series. And it was this moment. And I said no. It was the point of my life when I realized now you have to decide what you really want. Some people even here, like managers, agents, they say like, are you crazy? Why you said no? You can achieve something there and go back here as an actress. And it's like, no, it's not the same. I'm gonna waste years
Mm,
there, not in the
mm.
place where I want to be right now. And this was the moment when I realized, yeah, I have to chase my dreams and say no. Sometimes in this industry, it's very important to say no. Because it was like some offers here, even in Hollywood. It's not about like something cringy, but it was like about nudity, and I said like no, it's something that I don't want to do, and I said no. And it's very important to say no. I'm from a conservative family, like pretty conservative. Now they're not so conservative because of me. Like even in my social media, if you're gonna check, you don't see a lot of provoke content, like
No, no, you don't.
I know it's not only one path to your dream. I truly believe it's not like only one way.
When I dealt with a lot of these agents and managers, they're just people. They
Yeah.
just want to they just want to sell you. One thing I learned personally is as a writer, as a creator, I'm an actor and I'm a filmmaker and a storyteller. I realized that, I can get to talk to Dustin Hoffman with one of my scripts because he likes my writing. And I think you're in a similar boat. It takes a certain type of person, and I think you are that type of person that you can have that kind of success. So I think you're on the right path. I am so surprised by who you are. Alina, thank you so much for coming on this podcast. It was very insightful, and it was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much. For me, as I told you, it was an honor to be here on your podcast, and I really, really like our conversation. Yeah, so maybe in the future we'll do something else.
We'll do it again. Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye.